Millions continue to file for unemployment after pandemic business closures, but being out of a job is taking an even harder toll on certain groups. 56% of the unemployment claims in Montana since the start of the pandemic are from women. MTN's Caitlin Corbett has an explanation.
While millions of Americans are struggling, it's women who have been hit harder by job loss during the pandemic. This is according to an analysis by the Institute for Women's Policy Research. It found in April the unemployment rate for women increased almost 3 percentage points above the rate for men. That's a direct contrast to the 2008 recession, which left more men out of work. The Institute says this time is different because women dominate the fields that have had the most coronavirus-related layoffs, like hospitality and education. Women of color are even more heavily impacted, with the unemployment rate highest amongst Hispanic women. The Institute's president and CEO says many of those were low-wage jobs.
Both Black and Latina women, women of color, were economically vulnerable before the start of the pandemic, and the pandemic has only worsened those circumstances and their vulnerability.
But local organizations like the Women's Foundation of Montana are doing what they can to help curb that trend.
We have an online platform called Powerhouse Montana where women can connect to each other across the state of Montana, as well as finding mentors and resources. The Women's Foundation has really ramped up our educational webinars in the last couple months because usually across the state, Powerhouse Montana groups meet in person in different communities. And right now, of course, they're not doing that. And so we've been trying to figure out how we can provide that same kind of connection and community and support online.
It's disheartening after a strong start to the year when the Institute celebrated women making up 50% of the workforce. They tell us women will face more challenges getting back to work compared to men.
If it feels hard, it's because it is, and communities, businesses, as well as policymakers need to step up to make sure that women who are unemployed have the opportunity to re-enter the workforce, and for those who can't, they have the necessary social supports they need to be able to take care of their families.
In Bozeman, Caitlin Corbett, MTN News.
The Institute says the biggest barrier is a lack of child care support. It's also pushing for paid sick leave and higher wages. We'll be back after the break.